Toward a more perfect union. These words come from the preamble of the Constitution of the United States. After formally winning independence from Britain with the Treaty of Paris in 1783, the United States had a weak federal government under what was called the Articles of Confederation. There was one legislature that had one representative from each of the 13 states. There was no executive branch or president, no court, no judicial branch. So the drive for something more perfect refers to a union of the states that was better than what the Articles of Confederation provided. Although grammatically incorrect, there are not degrees of perfection, we can assume the authors implied that this would be an ongoing process. The Constitution requires the president to report on the state of the Union each year in an address. The new Constitution started off with the words, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." In 1788, New York State was among the most reluctant states to endorse the proposed Constitution because New York was a strong and powerful state and in general was resistant to having a strong and powerful federal government. Central to the issue of a more perfect union and totally relevant today is the balance between states' rights and federal rights and how that translates into individual personal rights on a day-to-day basis. It's through the lens of local history, through the stories of individual persons and neighborhoods that are familiar to us, that we can best come to understand what a more perfect union meant and how it impacted the day-to-day lives of persons, and how we in our 21st century might want to shape a more perfect union based on our lived experience and views. Let's go to the Poughkeepsie Post Office, to the murals then President Franklin Roosevelt had installed in 1940 to educate us on the formation of the U.S. Constitution. Here we find a depiction of the meeting of the New York delegation that took place in July of 1788 at the county courthouse in Poughkeepsie, which was on the same site as the courthouse that sits today, the corner of Market and Main. We see a successful conclusion to a long and divided debate, with Governor George Clinton shown on the left and the pro-Constitution leader Alexander Hamilton on the right. New York joined, but reluctantly and late and with conditions. Those conditions turned out to be the Bill of Rights. These are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. We hear them referred to frequently. The First Amendment refers to freedom of speech, religion, press, and assembly. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Among others are protections against unreasonable searches and seizures, and the rights to due process. As you explore some of the items on display, you'll see items related to war, like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War. The Civil War resulted in 3 U.S. constitutional amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, eliminating slavery, guaranteeing citizenship, and guaranteeing equal protection under the law regardless of race. You'll see election ballots from a century ago, obviously a preferable way to work out disagreements than a battlefield. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote nationally in 1920. What has made for a more perfect union in the past? What would make for a more perfect union today? And how do those degrees of perfection, if there are such things, get reflected in an individual person's experience locally?